June 10th, 2026. This is recording 1003. The title, The Chamber of Elegance. The Chamber of Elegance. Does life seem to be like one giant event of intimidation? Do you feel surrounded by lavish, showy promises with no real access to the quality that they advertise? Do you feel spiritually unemployed, uncovenanted, and in the dark, gasping for air? Well, if you can identify with any of those descriptions, then it's time to wake up and dip your cloth in the clear waters of understanding and become a covert distributor of true good news. This is our escape route. Tonight we will escape from those hounding threats, and we will enter what I call the Chamber of Elegance. After you've entered into this place, people will going to hide. They're going to look from side to side at some of the things you may say. But eventually, they're going to have to accept the truth that is standing right in front of them. And you probably will not have said much of anything, but the truth that you are will be speaking. It will be showing what you have found. Now, I'm going to describe this chamber a little bit because I know that after I describe it, you're going to recognize it. I've seen it many places, just shown in what I call the waking experience. I've seen it. What is it? It's that room that everyone has in their house that nobody sits in. You know that one? They go out and they buy this real fine furniture and they put it in this room, and I mean it's expensive, or even if it's not expensive, it looks like it is. But no one ever goes in that room. It's just for show. Well, what we need to realize is that we have that very room, and it's established within us. That's why I called it the Chamber of Elegance. Philip, one of the disciples, referred to it as the bridal chamber. You see, even though most people have this room in their house, they don't realize they have this very room already established within the heart of their being. But they've given up on living based on the promises that this room offers because they never enter and then establish themselves there. The room is full of spiritual promises. You can even look in the Bible, holy books, sacred books. And guess what you'll find? You guessed it, you will find all of these promises spelled out in books with people not really knowing that those promises are also spelled out in that elegant chamber within themselves. And even though people read them in the book, you see it, they're regarded as distant promises, distant dreams, something to be attained to in a distant future. And one of the odd things about that distant future is even though people want those dreams. They want to cash in on those promises that they believe to be distant. Guess what one thing they do that limits that? They try to stay in this waking experience as long as they can. And just look at how that's knocking heads against each other. You see, there has to be a real acknowledged covenant with God. There has to be intimacy with God. We know that the room is full of the promises, but we neglect to go in that room and become spiritually intimate with the promiser, the one who has promised. And you say, well, how can you say such a thing? Easily. Look how you treat one another, or look how they treat you and how you respond. For the promises of the room have stated that he who enters into this room and mates with the bride or the bridegroom shall have all spiritual matters worked out. They will walk in the earth. They will speak the language of the room, and they will be convinced that the language is heard and will be responded to. But when we look at how the rooms are set up right now, they're just lavish. We show our good side. The people speak the language, but the fruit is just dead. They have no works. They have no current authority in spiritual matters. That lavish room, chamber, is but an unfulfilled promissory note. It's a house, but it is an illusion. It has no promises. Another way to prove it: how much courage do you have to speak to a situation that's before you that has been promised that if you use my word, speak my word, I will be with you? What do? We turn, we look from side to side, we try to hide our fear or our insecurity. We realize that our account is bankrupt. We're looking at a room that is really a fantasy, occupying space in a dream world. Now those two words, dream world, are important once you come to an understanding of what they actually mean. Because if there are threats that the chamber has said, if you enter and become intimate with me, I will destroy those dreams. I will destroy those threats. So those threats are not being changed. They are being shown to be, but they're illusion. They are dreams that we have formulated, and we respect them as reality. When the language, the presence in that room, in that chamber, in that elegant chamber, that's where the respect is to be garnered. We live around a room that's lavishly furnished, in which we never ever enter to enjoy the peace and rest that we so desperately crave. A room so beautiful, and yet it provides no life, no community, no true communion. A room that most people admit that they never really enter. Well, I'm here to tell you that there really is a room. It's elegantly furnished with lavish promises reserved just for you. And it is designed to fit your taste completely. I think I'll say that again. There is an elegant room, furnished, already furnished, with lavish promises. These promises are reserved just for you. And they're designed to fit your taste completely. Once the contents of this room are experienced, there will be no desire for anything else. You'll never want to leave that room. And you'll find to your pleasure, to your satisfaction, that wherever you go, whether it be to the store, whether it be on a trip, whether it be down to the market, whether it be to purchase a new vehicle or clothing, guess what? The contents and the truthfulness and the security of that room you will carry with you. That's why I say you'll never want to leave it. You will make sure now that your focus is on that elegant chamber. Once authorization is granted, one may feast and be satisfied forevermore. Today, we speak of such a place. And the invitation of the Father to come into that room is extended that you might find complete rest for your soul. The scripture, John 14:2, says, "In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you?" See, the master is speaking to followers, and he's saying, I declare that there is a place, but this place has many rooms. And if you're focused enough or discerning enough, you can look all around you at all of the people that you have contact with and some that you don't, and you can see them walking in these various rooms. In our practice, we call these rooms consciousness. And that's why a lot of times we speak or do things and we get all of these different reactions from people. But Jesus is saying, you need to discern that the Father's house has all of these many different rooms. But there is one room, there's one room reserved for you, for your taste. Now, he's saying that to everyone. All of the people that are matriculating through all of these different rooms in the Father's house, he's saying there's one special room. It's designed just for you. It won't do anything differently from the law of the room, but the experience may appear different as you live your waking experience. He says you don't have to build in that room. You don't have to furnish. You don't have to manufacture promises through striving. The room is a sovereign space, fully equipped, reserved, and secured by the hand of God. How important is that statement? How important is that statement? I was asked just last evening that if Jesus was telling us we were living in a dream world, so to speak, why didn't he say so? And my response was, he did. He did say so. But he said only those who have eyes to see and see. See? Only those who have ears to hear and do hear. They will discern that this is a dream world. Now, just to add scripture, think about the fact that in the Old Testament it says Adam was put to sleep, but it never mentions that he wakes up. Oh. Can you not see now what you call reality is a dream? We're dreaming in the Adam world. Another place it says, my servant has gone into a far country. Far country is what? Country away from reality. And then Paul lowers the boom in the New Testament. He says, awake thou that sleeps, and Christ will give you light. If he's saying wake up, what do we wake up from? Yeah, I heard it. You heard it too. A dream. You see, this room only requires that we walk away from our labors and step into our pre-established inheritance. I just spoke for the last couple of minutes about something that, if it were visible to the naked eye, people would quit their jobs to seek what I just described. How many? Well, forget how many. What about our individual self? How focused are we on attaining this elegant chamber called the bridal chamber? Scripture tells us that by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. Please explain to me which one of these three words, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, which one of those words can you actually see with the naked eye? See, we're being told that by something that is seen beyond or beneath the waking experience, we build a house. It's called knowing. Wisdom studies until it knows. Understanding sits and ponders until it understands. Knowledge does the same thing. You see, we have to stop and move past the decorative storefronts of religious pageantry and legalism. To put it in what they call cheap words or understandable words, we got to stop acting like everything's okay, or we're strong and protected within ourselves by the words, because we know we aren't. How do we know we aren't? Think about how much peace actually rests with you when you're by yourself. Look at the things that you're thinking when you're by yourself. Are they thinking, I am so glad that I have found the elegant chamber? Are they saying, oh, I can't wait to get into the bridal chamber. In fact, I don't want to leave. Or are your thoughts about, what am I going to do about this? I wonder what so-and-so thinks about me and that. I wonder who said. How am I? You see, we have to leave that, because once that room, the elegance of that room is discerned, you will never, ever leave again. We have got to stop wearing the masquerade, and we have been given a grand opportunity. What? To show the proof of the authenticity of the promises that are laid out to go before us and to provide for our daily down to earth living. I had a young man say to me today, he's waiting on his boss to upgrade him in the store. His boss is a millionaire. I particularly know that. And I said, dude, you're going to end up going to your grave waiting on your boss to upgrade you. Your boss is not in the business of giving money away. He's in the business of gaining money. I said, you need to wake up and realize something has already been prepared for you, and you're not going to get it until you sit and ponder the reality of it. That's what it takes, pondering the reality of what God has prepared and what Jesus came and established before our eyes, and what the prophets and scribes wrote down that we would have a map to follow. You see, the elegant promises are attained through a precise internal alignment that recognizes the character of God. You stop seeking and begin possessing the wealth of the Spirit. Now, to do this, there is required a password. Once this password is learned or accepted within us, guess what? It cannot be refused. Impossible. Once you know this password, when I say know, I don't mean just know how to say it. Once this password is established within you, guess what? You cannot be thrown out, pushed out, kept out, or even be told, wait your turn. Guess what that password is? Yeah, I know you think, well, it's my needs are going to be met. When I need this, God is going to provide that. When I need that, God is going to provide that. No. Let me make this simple for you. That password is the word recognition. That's it. Or any word equivalent in meaning. You know, you can choose the word as long as it stands beside the word recognition. That's what it is for me, recognition. What is recognition? I do not need to enter a room to establish that God is going to provide my needs. I need to enter into that room through the recognition that there is only one presence ever present. That's it. The Father knoweth what thing you have need of. What? The recognition that the presence, the only presence, is always present with you. That's it. Knowing that the Father has sworn to provide every need. The only failure that you can ever entertain or experience is to forget the password. What? Right, that's it. Forget the password. Yeah, but I use the word recognition. No, the meaning, the feeling that you got from the word. How do I forget it? When I return in thought to the far country that has held me hostage for so long. In other words, when I begin to think the way I used to think, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, that's okay. I'll get you. When you're not thinking, I'll get you. See, that is the forgetfulness of the recognition of the presence of God. The goal, the ultimate goal of the elegant chamber is to provide a permanent dwelling or resting place. That's it. That's it. That's what the chamber is all about. It's not about cars and boats and planes and trips and all of that, and yet you will enjoy those things because of the recognition of the presence. Isaiah 32:18, what does it say? My people will abide in a peaceful habitation, in secure dwellings, and in quiet places. That's what it looks like on the outside. But where is that person actually dwelling? You got it. You got it. They're dwelling in what is called the Sabbath of God, the permanent rest. What did I think was the Beatles say? When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary speaks to me. See, the recognition speaks to me. I trust the recognition that I've found in that word. That word has opened up and revealed to me the one presence, always present. And therefore, I have found the Sabbath. That's why the scriptures say the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The rest of God was made for man, not for man to strive to attain it. Once we've entered in that room, I guarantee you, you'll never want to leave. And yes, threats are going to continue to come. Someone asked me the other day, you mean that these threats are going to keep coming? I said, yeah, they're never going to stop. But what happens is your recognition becomes so confident of victory that now your main thing is to help those who are seeking the Sabbath. You may be bombarded with their situations, which will be equivalent to recognition, and they can find their way. The streets, the waking experience, it will no longer hold panic. You are completely insulated by a quiet, unshakable sovereignty. Can you see the clothing, the cloaks that I keep laying on your shoulders, the crown on your head, the understanding in your perception and discernment? Yes, all of that is in that room. But if you do not go in that room and get intimate with pondering, and all you need to do is go in and just sit. You don't have to have a formula. The Father knoweth what things you have need of. So when you enter that room, the Father knows your intent. The Father knows what you have need of. And what is it? He only wants to give you the recognition of his presence. And that's what you go and sit. You don't have to ask for it, because that's right, it's already in the room. It's already reserved. So you go there with a surrendering understanding. Even though I feel as though I don't know what I'm doing, I do know what I'm doing because I made a decision to go there. That decision, the Father sees. And it is the Father that doeth the works. You don't have to go out and do anything but what? Remember to keep the recognition of the presence, and it will grow. It will grow within you. And as it grows within you, I think that story says the kingdom of heaven is like a man who plants a seed in the ground, and he wakes day and night, and he doesn't know how, but the seed grows and produces fruit. He was just using a story to familiarize yourself with something that you already know how it works in the waking experience. And he's telling you this is how the kingdom of heaven appears to grow within you. But it's growing because what do you do with a garden? You watch over it, you weed it, you water it, you protect it. That's what he's saying. Go in that room and say, Father, here I am. Here I am, grown up out of a parched ground, but I know you're there. I know you're there. Why? Because I'm breathing. My body is functioning. It's doing things that I have no control over to make sure that my eyes blink, my hair grow. I have, recognition. Life is living as you. It just wants you to align yourself with it. Matthew 11:28 says, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. See? You don't go there and gain rest. You go there and receive it based on your intent. Cast your fate to God, for the Father loves you and knows what things you have need of and is pleasured to give you the kingdom. So at this point, with all of this information, we officially walk out of that public showy performance that we put on the street. We close the door on the systems that appear furnished but are in essence entirely empty. That's the, how am I going to do this? I need to do this. We close the door on that. In other words, we no longer look to systems, external systems, to provide, because they cannot provide rest or comfort. You may think that that billionaire is resting in comfort. He is, in a sense, as far as materiality. But trust me, that fear, that far country, is always speaking to him, because he never goes in that elegant chamber. The room of elegant promises. The door is wide open. It has been paid for, and it is ready to receive you. Did you get that? It's not ready for you to fix yourself so you can enter. The door is open. The room has been paid for. It is ready to receive you. No permission other than that of the Father is required. And we've already gone over that. Recognition. True recognition, not just memorize or repeating the word. No permission is needed other than, I know the Father exists, and therefore I go and sit with the Father. In doing so, I dip my cloth in the clear crystal waters. I look away from the facade of the past, and I declare within myself that I am unshakably positioned in divine favor. That's my story. And regardless of what pops up, that is what I declare within that room. And the Father who heareth in secret, see, will reward thee openly. the waking experience will conform to the declaration of the recognition that we have found. Entering the inner chamber, we close the door and we rest in the chamber of elegant promises.